Scano Jody Nyagaso. My name is Jody Harbour, and I'm an urban Indigenous woman. My great-grandmother was of the Cayuga Nation. That's part of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, one of the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory in Brantford area, Ohsweken actually. And my great-grandmother was enfranchised in the early 1900s, I think 1918 really to be exact. And so my family lived urban, and I've always known I was Indigenous. I just didn't understand everything. I didn't know really the nation, and so the last few years of my life, I've really, just jumped into my culture, really wanting to understand how I can live by their ways of knowing and being, and share that with my children. And so it's led me to do a lot of community, or I guess just connecting with community, helping organizations learn, helping my neighbors learn, just doing and sharing whatever knowledge I can with community and my family and relatives. I'm a co-founder of Grandmother's Voice, and that just came because when I did meet my family on 6 Nations, grandmother Renee Thomas Hill, our great-grandmothers were sisters. When I met her, she said, our grandmothers brought us together for a reason. And, our ancestors brought us together, and what will we do about it?
What does truth and reconciliation mean to you?
I think truth and reconciliation means first understanding the information, that narrative from the Indigenous community, because what we were taught in school was more about Christopher Columbus and the European side of things. So actually understanding the true story of what happened and being able to reconcile and make amends with the Indigenous community as well as our environment.
Yeah, like what you said, how not just looking at a single story, because if we just look at the European side of things, there's obviously lots of parts left out in history about how Indigenous people were treated and how the residential schools and all of that, and being able to look back. And especially I think it's important for the people, the colonizers who did this, to admit they were wrong, apologize, and hopefully move forward and be able to remember everything that's happened, everyone that was lost. Apologize for that.
What do you believe your responsibilities are to the Indigenous community?
I think our responsibilities to the Indigenous community revolve around protecting our environment, because that's something that we haven't been very good about in the past. So making sure that we are recycling, not littering, all those things that a lot of us seem to forget on a daily basis should be things that we cover, as well as talking about certain issues with our friends, because a lot of people don't know or are still unaware of what is going on with the Indigenous communities at the moment, or even in the past.
Yeah, as much as protecting the land and also protecting the waters, there's so many things with pipelines going through sacred waters and completely ruining them. So you need to protect the land, as you said, and also I think, as you said as well, as informing everyone. There are many people so unaware about the terrible things that have gone on, because I think Canada is so perfect, but really it wasn't always like that. So
there's a lot of things that I think were swept under the rug, that people, not only the government, but we as humans are responsible as well for kind of turning a blind eye to a lot of the things that took place.
What are you doing to give back and support the community?
Well, I'm mostly just talking to my friends and trying to inform others as much as possible about how much stuff has happened, especially our history in Canada, with residential schools, and how the way that Indigenous people have been treated since colonizers came. And I've just been talking about it a lot with my sisters, especially, because we like to go on rants about this type of stuff. And also it's been getting better at school too, with history classes. We've been learning lots about it, more about it than like I did in elementary school. So that's been great, and as well as trying to post stuff on social media. I need to get better at that, informing others. And also, yeah, social media actually is a big thing for helping inform like people, because there's millions, well, more than millions, but there's millions of views on videos that are very important, like pipelines and protests that you can go to. So I think I'm gonna try to get better at that, and also honor the land and stuff like that.
One thing that I do is just again talking to friends, talking to people within my community. I'm a part of a club at my school called Culture Club, where we talk about different cultures, and some of the things that we do is focus on things like Orange Shirt Day or Indigenous Month, and we cover those topics within our club, but also within our whole school community, so that people are more educated on residential schools and other topics regarding the Indigenous community.
What was your first reaction when you saw the healing garden?
My first reaction was it was very beautiful, breathtaking. There's not too many things in my life that I really focus on that's outside, but going through the garden was something of a calming experience that I've never really felt before. As I was walking through, I felt very grounded to the land, to the environment.
Yeah, same thing. It's very beautiful, and just how it's just breathtaking, amazing, and very like spiritual connection almost, and it just all the plants, and like especially just since it's in an area where it's kind of remote, like there's not so many people, there's not so many cars, it's just like an escape from the world.
Exactly.
What does reconciliation look like to you?
What does it look like to me? Looks like love, looks like community, supporting one another, learning, accountability, and there's just so much with reconciliation, because that means that you're moving forward in relationship, and I just keep going back to love.
And so adding on to that, why do you think that reconciliation is important?
Because we'll never be able to heal. This world needs a lot of healing. We need to heal the land, each other, the past. And so, it's really important that we know all of the truth, and then we actually spend time in that truth. And it's really the only way to reconciliation is knowing that. So I think once we look at those truths, we'll realize that a lot of the issues and problems in society with mental health and community, like not having enough housing, or drug abuse, a lot of these things came from the colonization of these people. But I think we have to understand how we got here today, and then acknowledge how we got here today.
And can you talk to us a little bit about the significance of the garden?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you know what? This is a community initiative. This is what happens when a group of just indigenous, but a group of people come together and want to have reconciliation. We came together and we said we need a space. We were invited to come to this location at Country Heritage Park and help the community that was here, create something that would offer healing.
And what do you think is, if you had to pick one thing, the most important thing that people should take away from this?
Connect to the land. I think when people hear that, it's like, oh yeah, I like hiking, or I like to, but my experience that really, I think woke me up to my purpose in life and being present, like right now in this conversation, and aware of my surroundings, was I went and spent some time in a sacred area, which to me everywhere in the land is sacred, but when you can find that time where you can connect and feel the earth under your feet, and you smell just everything in the air and the plants, and you hear every energy or animal around you, that woke me up.